Corsair has yet another couple products for us from their H series of all-in-one liquid coolers. Yes, don't be fooled. Despite the addition of GTX and GT at the end of the model names, there was not a collaboration with NVIDIA. But jokes aside, these coolers promise a number of performance improvements and some interesting aesthetic changes as well. So stay tuned to see how they stack up, and stay subscribed to our Linus Tech Tips channel to see a future video on the megahertz myth, where we take a look at old versus new when it comes to processors running at equal speeds. Should be pretty cool. The Cooler Master NovaTouch TKL utilizes genuine Topor hybrid capacitive switches and is now available at a more affordable price. Click now to learn more. Let's kick things off with a physical overview of both units. The H80i GT and the H100i GTX have both received fairly substantial makeovers. They now feature a more angled look with gray accents not only on the pump but on the radiator as well. On the H100i GTX and other future GTX models, the gray design plates can be removed and swapped out for a variety of different colors. Though at the time of writing this review, not even Corsair's own website had anything to say about when those came out, and none seem to be actually available at this time, although a little snooping on the product page did reveal what looks like a red replacement plate. Lucky for us though, I have the inside hookup and have been informed that they should be coming out sometime around May. Both units feature an RGB LED on the top logo area of the pump, which can be adjusted in the Corsair Link software. Gone is that little snap-on over the pump magnetic mounting bracket that came on previous generations of the H-series coolers, but now they have a kind of hardware mounting solution which is pre-attached for Intel and has a general twist-on, twist-off mechanism for swapping it out if you need AMD. Overall, the mounting block is fairly similar to previous AIO cooler setups with a standard backplate, standoff, thumb screw setup, which should be easy enough to install. The tubing has also received a bump up with some very nice and clean looking sleeving that has no gaps or bare threads to gripe about, which in my opinion is pretty amazing overall. The aesthetic improvement compared to the bare black tubes of old is pretty cool in my opinion. The tubes also go straight into the pump block, which results in a very clean looking finish, although it doesn't feel as flexible as the rotating arms of last gen. The included fans are the exact same as before. They cool alright at low RPMs and they can get really loud at high RPMs, but they do manage to shove quite a lot of air through your rad when they do. You can configure them however you'd like through Corsair Link, so pick your poison. The fans aren't exactly square, so they don't form a perfect seal to the radiator, but they do manage to keep their overall static pressure quite high regardless. Moving on to the tubing for the coolers. The H80i GT and H100i GTX's tubing runs are both quite long and stiff, resulting in some issues with a few of our cases. This might be less of a problem for a full tower perhaps, but the tubing runs are so long and sturdy that closing the side panel can prove to be difficult in a few of these cases, and a little awkward if you happen to have fans installed in the side panel as well. The sturdy overall tubing plus the sleeving does have the awesome benefit of being very unlikely to kink, which is pretty great for people who are just trying to avoid issues. The final gripe is the fittings. Yeah, they can swivel and socket, which looks incredibly great and very, very clean, but they don't have the rotator arms that the previous generation has, as I brought up earlier, which in combination with the stiff tubing can again make installation a bit tricky in a few solutions, but it does look sexy as hell once you get it in place properly, and when you sit back and gaze upon what you've created, it makes the fairly minor installation issues seem entirely worth it. Now that we got that out of the air, I can finally talk about how it performs and stacks up against the rest of its competition. We had some issues getting the default fans to run at our standard testing speed of 1100 RPM, hence why they are listed at 1500 RPM on the chart. Do keep in mind that they do perform well at that speed, but have a much louder overall noise profile. That being said, the H80i GT with its thick single 120mm design had a hard time keeping up with our super hot test bench, which was expected as our setup often throws off coolers in that range. I may dial it down a little bit in the future, but it should perform on more reasonably overclocked CPUs. We see the H100i GTX flex a little bit with its new cold plate and pump designs that it shares with its little brother, the H80i GT. This results in a bit of a leap from the predecessor and slotting it in as the best cooler under 280mm that we tested this time around. In conclusion, Corsair stepped their game up. Improved aesthetics across the board with sleeve tubing and cool replaceable logo plates, which can match your color scheme. Improved performance through their improved cold plate and pump design efficiency, but is it enough? Well, I don't think anyone who already has an H100 or H100i should run out and replace their cooler anytime soon if it's still working fine. But anyone that wants a new 240mm cooler for their build or to replace a malfunctioning cooler, this would be a fine option, and it performs pretty damn well to boot. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below or over on the forums. Personally, I don't mind the stiff tubing. I don't think I'll really have any problems with it, and I'm totally willing to make that sacrifice, if you want to call it that, for the awesome looking sleeving and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, let me know what you guys think over on the forum specifically. By the way, like, dislike, share, subscribe, follow, comment, all that kind of stuff, and jump over on the forum to check out our maybe merchandise or sponsors, or do contributions and become a forum member with a cool little golden badge or silver badge or bronze badge or whatever the heck you want. Also, change your Amazon affiliate link to ours so we get a small kickback whenever you help us out. Thanks guys, thank you for watching, subscribe, follow, all that kind of stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.